Yep, and then I can see everybody's comments here. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Happy Saturday. So, yeah, so I can see just fine. So that is good. So, you guys are actually probably going to help me at some point come up with the complete style. But my client and I were just having such a really good conversation. So I figured, you know what? Let's take this to YouTube and let's just go live. What the heck? And it's been a while since I've actually, I haven't really done a live on YouTube in a while. So it's nice to do it every now and again. So I made the title that my client lived in Africa for 7 years because I just, being from a small town, like I said,
yeah, it is a big conversation starter for a lot of people. So,
like, it's just amazing. But I think it's so awesome because of the culture and just the experience. I mean, like I said, I have never even been on a plane, so I haven't even been on the west coast of the United States, let alone in another country. So I think it's
I haven't seen.
It's really awesome. Hi, Patricia. So if you guys keep seeing me look down, I am trying to read the comments from another monitor. So if you guys see me keep looking down, it's just because I'm trying to read the comments. So
I haven't seen much of the U.S. at all, actually.
Really? See, look at how crazy that is.
I lived in Delaware for a year, and I have a lot of family in Jersey. But yeah, I've never been really outside of the Poconos.
Oh wow. Oh wow.
Africa's the farthest I've been.
And for such a long time. Like 7 years is a long time. Like you can make a life somewhere.
My core years.
Within 7 years. Yeah.
Yeah. My core years, I say, because I was 12 when I went. I spent my core years there. So it really had a huge effect as to like who I am as a person.
Well, of course. I mean,
those are the years you're discovering yourself.
Yeah, those are very formative years. So that is really, really cool. Really cool. Cool enough for me to go live. Because I know, like I said, I normally don't. But yeah, and we're just gonna do the style, and we don't really know what the style is gonna be just yet. I know we're gonna do 2 braids, but we may play around a little bit with doing the middle, maybe doing some hearts or something like that. So I may even adjust the camera a little bit so that you guys can maybe see the style as it progresses. But we just wanted, for you guys to join the conversation and just see the style here. So someone says beautiful hair. Yeah, her hair is gorgeous, guys.
That makes
very
me feel
nicely
good.
Blown out as I request. So, oh yeah, I'm excited to see how this style is going to come out. So we're kind of gonna do a little bit of a freestyle here. So we'll just see how this works. And we're gonna do some hearts. So maybe I will try to turn you a little bit.
Okay.
So that they can see. What do you guys think? Hearts down the middle, maybe?
Let's take the input.
Yeah, we're definitely open for some suggestions. So I'm gonna kind of just start in the middle with a small one and then just kind of see how it goes. I mean, I know how to do the hearts. That's not a problem. I'm actually gonna zoom in a little bit. There we go. Yeah, so if anybody needs a heart tutorial, kind of here it is, because I don't think I've really ever done this. Yeah, but I do like doing the hearts though. So then what'll happen is the 2 ends will go into the braid,
Gotcha.
Yeah, into the braid.
I'm up for whatever.
Oh, nice.
So it's nostalgic for me.
Oh, nice. So you were saying you haven't had your hair, like, have you had your hair braided since you've come back to the States?
Since I've come back, no, and I've been back for 11 years.
So this is your first time getting your hair braided in 11 years?
In 11 years.
Oh, that should have been the title. Wow. I can always change it though. Okay,
But
wow.
it's nostalgic for me because every week, me and my cousin, because we lived in the same house, we'd go with my aunt, and we lived in Lagos, Nigeria, and we.
Oh my gosh!
We
I know a
walked
braider
down-
out there. Well, I didn't know
Really?
her, but like from YouTube, yeah. Oh my
Oh, that's
gosh.
cool. I'll have to check her out.
Her name is Glam by Mary. So she was in the States for a little while, and then she, I believe that she's from Lagos, and so I think she just like moved back there, and she's been there for like quite a while now.
I have to check it out.
Oh my gosh.
But yeah, every Sunday we take a walk down to our local braider, because in the schools there, it was a part of the uniform. The girls had to have their hair braided in a certain style every week. They'd tell us on Friday what the next style was for the week. So we'd go down to the braider, we'd tell them the style that the school said we had to have for the week, and we'd get our hair braided, and it was just
Now,
takes
how
me back.
crazy is that? Because, like, in some places, in schools, braids were probably prohibited.
Yeah, actually.
Do you know what I mean?
When I was before going to Africa, when I was in elementary school in the Poconos, in the Pocono Mountain School District, I would get box braids for the summer. And usually the first week of school, my braids would still be good, so I'd keep them for that first week.
Mm-hmm.
But somebody, like the principal or the teacher, somebody always had something to say about it. And then I'd have to take them out early, because they didn't want me having the braids.
Right. That is just crazy. I mean, but it just goes to show you how different, like, different places can be, because here's one area where braids were part of the uniform.
Yeah.
And then in some areas, you know, they were being deemed as non-professional, and
See, I hate
wow.
that's a whole
Wow.
topic I could rant on. Like,
Wow, I'm just
protective
learning
style
so much
shouldn't
today.
be unprofessional.
No, definitely not. But I am so grateful for the changes that, you know, are being made, and the advances and the advancement that is happening when it comes to natural hair care and natural hairstyles. I mean, I just think it's long overdue.
Mm-hmm.
You know, don't get me wrong. But I am one of those type of people that I am grateful to see. Progression, you know,
Yeah.
in that area. So
And like, as a hairstylist, I feel like you get to be a part of it a little more too.
yeah, it means a lot. It opens up my clientele. So, you know, before, you know, you may you know, only get a specific, you know, type of clientele, but then when you have these things and people taking a stand and standing up for natural hair and, you know, all these things, I'm actually gonna move the camera up a little bit one more time, because I really want them to be able to see. So just bear with me, guys. I know this is live, but I do want to give you guys the best angles as possible. There we go. That's much better. Like, for example, one of my clients is a doctor, and you know, he's still studying, but he's going to be a cardiologist, and he comes here and he gets his hair braided.
That's awesome.
And I just think that it's so amazing. I have another one who is going to be a gynecologist, and so the fact that they can come, you know, and have their hair braided, and you know, it's not deemed as a problem or an issue or related to any type of stigma, I think is just amazing. You know, these are a lot of issues that aren't really frequently talked about. They're not the most, like, hot topic per se, but it does deserve,
It deserves commentary. It does.
it does deserve like conversation. Absolutely. Absolutely. So, I mean, some of the things that you've shared with me, that's why I really thought it was just important to go live, because it's one thing to just stay within these four walls, but it's good to get that information out there. And then there could be somebody also, there could be someone that is struggling or, what have you. And I think this is a really good way to just get some information out there.
Definitely. And I personally, I do like to start these conversations with my background because I am a mixed kid.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a lot of other mixed kids that are like myself, like white passing mixed kids.
Mm-hmm.
And like I know I struggled with my identity a lot.
Wow.
Because I'd have people where it's like, you're not really white enough to hang out with this group.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'd have the group where it's like, you're not really black enough to hang with this group. And I'm like...
So you just found yourself somewhere kind of like in the middle.
In the middle, yeah.
Wow.
So I open the dialogue whenever I can because I know, like, not all mixed kids have a place.
Right.
And we should have a place.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Absolutely.
So that's why I get vocal about my time in Africa, and I like to share about my culture because it is still my culture.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree with you more, to be honest. I couldn't agree with you more. That's why I do pride myself as well on being a braider, that I pretty much have such a diverse clientele, and I embrace it and I love it. And I love learning the different textures and, seeing just the diversity, and it's really cool. It's a really cool thing. And honestly, I wouldn't have it any other way. And sometimes I get, there's times that I even get, how could I say, I don't want to say ridicule. And I don't know if there's any braiders on the live, but sometimes like I have been asked straight out, oh, do you braid black texture hair? And I'm like, okay, well, first of all, what is black texture hair? Because black is not a texture. I have braided a lot, and so I'm just going to turn you. I have braided a lot, and I have braided many different textures, but again, black is not a texture. Texture is wavy, things like that. And I don't know. I just thought it was a very rude question and very ignorant question, but I didn't decide to respond back with ignorance,
Yeah.
Because sometimes that doesn't really get us anywhere either. So
I think the best battle for ignorance is just with information.
Mm-hmm. Educate them, yeah.
And it's totally up to them if they want to be receptive to it or not.
Yeah, definitely.
But at least, you're choosing to open the door, give them the dialogue.
Yeah, because I'm like, so I'm, just because I do different textures of hair and I have different nationalities of clients, like, I believe that I can braid just about any texture of hair. And I don't have to explain that to anybody. If I want to have, different clientele, that's a good thing. It's not. It's not a bad thing. So.
And I mean, I'm appreciative because, like I said before, like I've tried to go to other salons before, and they just take one look at me and they're like, "Yeah, no, we can't do your hair."
Wow.
And it's just like you haven't even bothered to feel my hair. It's very easily braidable. I know that.
Right. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I'm so glad though that you got to come here and get your hair braided and
Oh, I'm loving it.
just
Instantly
talk.
comfortable.
Oh,
Great
good.
conversation. I'm going to be looking for my children so
Oh,
they can have the
good.
experience too.
Good.
I'm just glad I got the appointment.
Yeah, it was so funny how, I'm telling you, it was so funny how that happened. So funny. Okay, so we got one half of the heart in.
I'm watching through your
Oh yeah, I'm probably gonna try to like turn it a little bit. So for anybody that's hopping on, I know you probably can't see that good, so I need to like get you back in camera. There we go.
Okay.
But I had to turn a little bit. So we're doing these 2 braids, guys, and let me just back this up a little bit. There we go. We're doing these 2 braids, but we're doing some hearts in the middle, and we're just having some conversation just about different hair textures, braiding different nationalities hair. I mean, there's so much to unpack, and obviously we can't unpack that in just one live video or whatever you want to call it. So if you guys would like to tell us about your experiences from both ends, from maybe a client standpoint or even from the stylist standpoint, you know, have you ever had, you know, those times where, you know, maybe you were declined service because you didn't have the right hair texture, you know, and things like that. So that's kind of like the things that we're talking about. If you saw the title, my client lived in Africa for 7 years, and I just thought that was so amazing to just talk about the culture and things like that. So we decided to go live, and let's see what we get here with the style. I've never actually, like, I've done hearts before. You guys know, like, I've definitely done hearts before, but I have not done them in the middle where I did more than one. So we're probably going to do about maybe three hearts, and we're going to see what happens. we're just kind of winging it a little bit.
It's an adventure.
Yeah, it is. It is. I'm using my Shine and Jam from the Magic Finger Studios. So this is the Shine and Jam Magic Fingers for Braiders. So this is the product that I'm using, guys. And I'm just using a nice thin tooth comb with the rat tail end. So I have my little watch on. You guys can see that. Well, it's not really a watch, but it's a nice little tool to hold your product. So if you want, you can always check that out. If you guys are looking for like the heart braid tutorials, I do have some on my channel.
So how long have you been braiding?
Ooh. So I've been braiding. I've known how to braid since I was 10.
Oh, wow.
It was such like one of those little hobbies, you know. I love to do it on my dolls. I always had an affinity for hair. And then I braided throughout like high school, I guess you could say. You know, like I was the one that if like the cheerleaders needed their hair braided, or you know, somebody needed their hair braided like in school or something like that, like I was always like the go-to.
Yeah.
Like, oh, ask Nikki. You know what I mean? Like my teachers, any and everybody, to be honest. But I really didn't start taking it serious, I would say, until about like maybe about 2017 was when I started to take it like really serious, because I hadn't braided in like 10 years. So if there's any braiders here, like how long did you not braid before you got into braiding? Because for me, it was a long time. Like, I'm telling you, it was like a whole 10 years, you know, um, that I hadn't really braided anyone's hair. And I didn't want to braid anybody's hair because I just wasn't into braiding anymore. And then I often tell this story when I do get asked a question. I was working a corporate job, and it was a great job and everything like that. But then my grandfather had got sick, and so I kind of just had to like change roles, you know. I went from being like an employee to kind of like, I was, I guess you consider like a caregiver in a sense. My grandmother and I, together. And then after my grandfather passed, I just like really needed to figure out where I fit again. Like where was my place in the world. And so I kept seeing braid videos and more braid videos, and I was like, wow, and because I already knew how to do it, it was like
you were being sent a message.
Yeah, it just was like calling I'm like, what is going on? Why do I even care about this right now? You know what I mean? It was like kind of like one of those things. And then thankfully I just started. I did my niece's hair. I was like, let me do your hair. I want to see if I could, and it wasn't like out of the norm for me necessarily to ask that, because again, because I knew how to braid.
You were the go-to.
Yeah, it was like kind of one of those things like, oh, okay. So I did my niece's hair. And after I did my niece's hair, I posted a picture on Facebook. Because at that time, like my Instagram, I didn't have an Instagram for hair or anything like that. So Facebook was like the place where you could say that most of my family and friends were and stuff like that. So that's where I posted it. And then after that, it was just kind of kept going from there. Oh, thank you. Here from TikTok. Wow, thank you.
You have a TikTok?
I do have a TikTok, but
I have to follow that.
Listen, I just started the TikTok. I really am still learning the ebbs and flows of TikTok. So I mean, I have a couple things posted, but I am trying to get better. I am trying to get better with it. I have like a whole 30 followers on TikTok.
I just do it for fun.
Yeah, I know that, a lot of people like TikTok and everything, and I like it too, don't get me wrong, but trying to learn another platform sometimes is really like, oof. Because like I've like focused so much on like YouTube and Instagram that trying to like learn another platform, but I guess it's worth it,
Yeah, I've seen like some behind the scenes of influencers on TikTok, and they put a lot of work into that.
Lot. Oh yeah.
For like a 30-second skit, So.
Oh yeah, it's a lot of work. Well, people think even like when you do like a reel for Instagram, like you would think that, okay, this is only like a 7-second video, and that 7 seconds may take you, 2 hours.
Yeah.
To try to get it like perfect and line up your bead or whatever it is that you're gonna do. So, I mean, I'm definitely into it, but I'm still a learning progress. Still a work in progress when it comes to all my social media platforms. When it comes to my social media platforms, I've just done it basically to just try to share my journey. As far as like getting back into the braid scene and just kind of like capture my journey along the way, and thankfully it's just helped people. So I do try to keep up with it, but initially it was just like, well, this is something that's really new for me, and I just want to share it because there's probably other people that are going through the same exact thing that I am and the same struggles that I am, but it's not necessarily being shared. So that was kind of like my MO, if you will, when it came to like getting back into braiding and all that stuff. Wow, this heart looks amazing. So I don't really know who's here right now, but can you guys just like drop a heart in the comments so that I can like see who's watching and all of that good stuff? Can we drop a heart for this heart? Cause this is fire. Oh, I'm excited. Totally was not planning on doing this. But sometimes when you just let go, like I think I'm an over planner when it comes to braiding. Like I have to plan out everything. I have to pre-part everything. I have to, you know, like I just kind of have to know every step of the way before I even get started.
Yeah, like a roadmap to what
Yeah,
you do.
and now I'm trying like to just trust myself a little bit. Like just trust myself, you know? I'm not gonna like leave a mess, you know? Even if one line is off or something, like it's not the end of the world, you know?
Exactly.
So I need to just trust myself a little bit more. But this is looking really, really nice. Yeah, so I'm gonna do 2 more of these hearts. I think that's gonna look really nice. And then the rest of the hair will get braided into 2 braids. Into 2 feed-in braids. Can you guys guess what color we're gonna use for the feed-in braids? I will say this though, when you are braiding, oh yeah, it looks gorgeous. So see guys, it'll kind of just cross over like that, and I'll just, let's see, there we go. So it'll cross over like that, and when you are doing a crossover like this, oh thank you, have a great day. When you are gonna do a style like this, you do want to make sure that you braid down your end far enough. So make sure that you braid these down so that way they go nicely into the braid. I've made that mistake where I haven't braided it down far enough. So I am actually here in Kingston, Pennsylvania. It's really nice here. It's like 50 something, I think it's like 50 something degrees today.
Yeah, it is gorgeous outside.
I haven't been outside. I've not been outside yet, but hopefully I will be able to still catch some of the sun. I hope it's nice for everybody else's too. For the most part, you know, I guess as nice as it could be is, you know, for an April day. Okay, so let's part out another heart. I'm gonna put one like right in this area here. So I'll start it kind of like close. Not too close. So I might have to make this one a little bit smaller, just a smidge. Which would actually probably be pretty cute.
Well, the style doubles as my birthday hair, so I can't wait.
Oh, well, even better. Even better. One thing about parting hearts, you just have to play with it. I don't know if there's really a rhyme or a reason, guys, but you just kind of have to play with it until you're satisfied. And I think that's kind of the trick. Yeah, I think this is going to look really cute.
trust you.
Oh, good. Good.
I'm already sitting here planning my summer box braids.
Oh, nice. Are you going to get the knotless?
I've never had knotless, so I'm not sure.
Oh, knotless are like really all the rave to, my opinion. A lot of people like the knotless braids. I don't like doing them too. I know a lot of people feel that the benefits of knotless braids outweigh the benefits of the traditional box braids because you're not starting out. They're basically like tension free. So that's the one thing.
Oh.
Yeah, because they don't start with the knot. So they actually start off with your real, like your natural hair.
And then you add on.
And then you gradually add the pieces. So a lot of people like them for that specific reason.
Well, that definitely sounds worth a try because I've only ever had the traditional box braids, and I remember the 3-day tension headache when they were still fresh.
Yeah. Thankfully with knotless, I think you can kind of avoid that. So what do you guys prefer? Do you prefer knotless or traditional box braids? That's always a big topic in the, I guess you could say in the hair world. I know some people still really like traditional. I'm not opposed to them. I offer both. But I do think that for some textures that knotless is probably the preferable way,
Well, I have a friend, she says for her personally, the knotless doesn't last as long as traditional. So I guess hair type does have a lot to do with that too.
Yeah, I mean, and I think that's like an overall sentiment with knotless is that, because there is no knot, it is one of those things where you don't really get I don't want to say you don't get the longevity because you could wear knotless braids too. It's more of preference. That's what it boils down to. It is really a preference thing. Some people, they don't mind the knotless because as they get older, they get more natural looking. And some people, that is their goal. They just want a natural looking install. And so that's their goal, so that style fits better for them. Then there's some people who they want the tight, long lasting look of, of the traditional. So it's really it's preference. But my preference, I prefer to do knotless. I think for me, it's become easier to get knotless braids to be more uniformed than the traditional ones.
That makes sense, though.
Okay, let's see. Nice. Okay. Let me just section this off. When's your birthday?
April 23rd.
Oh. So you still have a little while yet.
A little bit.
But some people celebrate the whole month.
I do.
So, yeah. Yeah, some people celebrate the whole month of their birthday.
Well, it's also because my daughter's birthday's on the 16th. So we kind of just spend the whole month doing fun stuff for both of us.
Oh, that's nice. That's nice. I really need a stool. I'm like on my tippy toes.
Should I slouch down?
No, you're fine. All right, let's see how this heart comes out. So if there's anybody that's just joining us, we are just doing some heart braids down the middle, and then we're gonna do 2 feed-in braids on each. Well, 1 feed-in braid on each side. Well, that would be 2 feed-in braids. This is a little bit of an impromptu style, but we're gonna see how it comes out. You guys know, if you watch my channel, you know that I am such a fan of pre-parting. But this time we're just kind of just go with the flow. I'm trying to get more comfortable in that realm of just trusting myself, you know. But I really do like pre-parting. Think you save yourself a lot of headaches. Does anybody have any questions on how to do a heart braid? I just want to throw that out there. Just in case, even though I have videos, I mean, I'm willing to take questions if anybody has any questions. And I like to add stitches, like add the stitch method to my parts.
What is that?
So it's just kind of like when you pull the hair in from each side, it just kind of creates a little bit of detail, extra detail to the braid itself.
I'm now even more anxious to see it.
Mm-hmm. Hello. Oh, got these little guys wanting to come over. I keep dropping my comb, guys. If you hear that, that's my comb falling out of my apron. I really need a new apron. It's one of those things I keep slacking on getting. How's the tender-headedness going? Someone said.
Oh, I'm not tender-headed. I've been getting my hair braided up until the last 11 years. I'd get my hair braided every couple of weeks, so they kind of knocked that out of you real quick.
Oh, I'm sure, because you were getting your hair braided in Africa, so.
Oh yeah, and the tension,
like
the
home
tightness,
of braids.
it is tight. So I got over it real quick, and now I can handle just about anything pulling on my head.
Oh wow. Well, I'm glad it's not hurting. A lot of people say though that I'm not heavy-handed, so.
No, definitely not.
I'm always grateful for that. But I do know that there are a lot of tender-headed, people. I mean, it's understandable.
Definitely. And like I did start out really tender-headed. It just after time I acclimated. I just got used to it.
Right. Yeah, I'm not tender-headed either, to be honest. I mean, but I haven't had my hair done in a long time either, so I don't really know. Because I haven't had my hair done. Oh, I mean, I haven't had my hair braided. Like, I've braided my hair, but just to have my hair braided, it's been years. For me too. Like,
I find that question funny though, because that was something like I was worried about. I'm like, What if I can't handle getting my hair braided anymore because it's been so long?
Yeah. Yeah, these are looking good. I'm her friend, LOL. She told me to come watch. Oh, well, hi, Jasmine.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, when you said you were going live, I sent a text and I was like, hey, if you want to watch.
Nice. Well,
So-
Jasmine, thank you.
Hi.
What do you think? Do you think it's coming out pretty good? Oh, I love that you have supportive friends.
Yeah, we were actually on the phone before I came in here, and I'm like, okay, I have to go now. I'll call you when I'm done. I'll make sure to send you pictures.
Oh,
Because
love it. Gonna bring my son in a few years. Oh,
because they knew how like nervous I kind of was about it. Because the same conversation I had with you, I had with them.
right.
And they're like, just go. Like you're overthinking
No,
it. Just
never
go.
have to be nervous. Not with me, anyway. You know.
Oh, definitely not. Like as soon as I walked in, I was like, you know what? I can be comfortable here. I can relax.
Good. I'm gonna come around again. So I'm sorry. I always like barricade myself somehow. What did you go to school for?
Accounting.
Accounting. Wow, my husband used to be an accountant before he became a barber.
See, a lot of people I know that like, because I've wanted to do accounting for as long as I can remember. And then it seems like a lot of people grow out of it. So now I'm just like, I wonder what I might move on to when I eventually grow out of this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he did. He definitely did.
And I'm considering it a decent backup plan.
Oh, definitely. I mean, it's always good to have like those kind of skills, you know, because you're gonna need like even if you ever go into business for yourself. I mean, the fact that you have an accounting background, that's a very good thing to have.
Oh, yeah. My brother and I, we have a plan since I'm doing accounting and he's in school for software engineering. He wants to start his own tech startup.
Oh, nice.
And I'm like, okay, you start the tech, I'll just handle HR. And it's like, okay, sounds like a plan.
That does sound like a plan.
He's got 2 years left, and then he'll have his externships, and we got a couple of years before he opens his thing, but we're gonna start a family business.
I love that. Keep it in the family. You know, use your skills. That's really good.
Absolutely. We want generational wealth here.
That's a word that we don't always know how to create, but it is necessary, you know, if you really want your family to thrive, you know.
Yep.
It's a beautiful thing to try to create.
No clue where to start.
Sometimes you don't know where to start, but
definitely gonna try.
Oh yeah, for sure. But that's a tech company. I mean, look at there's so much you can do with that.
Mm-hmm. He wants to specialize in app development.
Okay.
And since a lot of places are like moving into having apps now, in addition to their websites.
Oh, absolutely.
It's like you picked a great spot to start because it's definitely up and coming as a career choice.
Oh, absolutely. And there's a lot of money in app development because there's only so many. I mean, I'm sure there's a lot more people now that know how to do it, but I'm just saying, like, you don't run into somebody every day that knows how to develop an app.
Yeah. I watch him build robots and stuff for school projects, and I just sit there amazed.
Wow.
And I'm like, I can't even build a shelf with the instructions from Walmart, and here you are just
just whizzing
messing
through.
around, no instructions whatsoever.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you would think that being a braider that I would be like good with like my hands in a sense, you know, to build something or nope, not my testimony at all. Okay, so we got the second heart in. Look at this, guys. Wow. I'm really excited to see how this style is going to turn out. I really am, like, because like I said, I haven't done it. And typically, like, I'm one to, like, do my video, edit it, you know, as nicely as I can, and, like, you know, put everything together. But I'm really trying to step out of my comfort zone, too.
Yeah, this is live.
So it's just whatever's happening is going to happen.
Mistakes and all. You'll see everything. It's raw form.
Everything. No edits. No nothing. Just everything. So the goal is to have 3 hearts coming down the middle. They're going to kind of like cross over like that. I'm going to just bend your head back just a smidge so they can see. So it's going to kind of come back like that. I'm going to do one more heart right in this section here. And then we'll go ahead and do the 2 braids. And we're going to add some hair. Bringing Michael for his first braids. We're African Cherokee, and he also, but we have no relatives. Let's see. Oh, let me go back to my phone. Let's see if I could get to the comments. Hold on. Actually, can you check the comments for me? Oh, wait. I think... It like faded out on me faster than I was able to read it. So it's just Neek Lynn. And now if you just want to turn the volume down.
There you go. Bringing Michael for his first braids. We're African Cherokee and he's also Chippewa, but we have no relatives. Gonna love seeing his red hair and something beautiful for the summer. This looks so amazing.
Oh, nice.
Kenya in the house.
Okay, so we got Nigeria, Kenya, and here I am in little old Wilkes-Barre. All right, so you guys should be able to see this last heart pretty good.
I like how I'm also getting a sneak peek now.
Oh yeah, now you can see. Okay, awesome. Awesome. Yep, so we're just going to get this last heart in. Just trying something different, guys. Just to be honest, I'm one of those braiders that heavily rely on like an inspiration picture or like, you know, something like that. And I'm really just trying to create my own, not to create my own. How could I say this? I'm just trying to learn how to rely on myself, you know, and to have an idea and be confident in the idea. Or even if I did see it, to be able to try to replicate it, but yet be able to still put my own spin on it enough that I'm not just like so reliant on a photo or something like that. So,
because I was no help. I said, I know I want 2 braids, but that's it.
Yeah, and that's okay though, because like that pushes me out of my comfort zone. And I'm okay with that sometimes. When time allows. Now, if I'm like on a, you know, severe time crunch, then it's kind of like one of those things where it's like, okay, I got to do what I got to do, and I have to do it, you know, not to say quickly, but
efficiently.
Yeah, like I don't always have the time to like experiment. So sometimes I just have to, you know, do the style and then that's it. But today I'm just taking my time. That looks pretty good. And so guys, as you can see for these hearts too, I mean, it's just kind of like half moons in a sense, but on a slant a little bit. So you just kind of like give yourself a center point, you know, give yourself a point to start with, and then just work your way out as you would a heart. And you may have to keep fooling around with it a little bit, but that's okay. You just do it until you feel like both sides are symmetric. That's kind of what helps me. I mean, may not be perfect, but you just kind of keep doing it, and then you can always like twist the hair a little bit, just so that you can see your shape a little bit better. So I'm gonna just turn it back a little bit. Excuse me. And if you have trouble with grip, I often think that like doing a design. Oh, she said if you were nervous. I often think that like doing a design like this, in the middle, if you struggle with like gripping 2 braids, I think adding a little bit to the 2 braids often help, because then this hair is being utilized, and then you don't have to worry so much about trying to like hold and grip so much hair. So yeah. Okay, I think I just want to come down a little bit like that instead. Yeah, that's good. Nice. The nice thing too about going live is you get to see it in real time. Because a lot of times, you know, when you're recording a YouTube video, you know, for the sake of time, a lot of times you have to, you know, speed the clips up and, you know, all that type of stuff. But at least with it live, like, you get to see what is happening in real time. You get to see how long the intricate parting takes and, you know, stuff like that, because people could get discouraged seeing things sped up all the time. And then when they do it, it's like they feel like, oh my gosh, this is taking me so long. And it's like, that's not really the case. It's not taking you so long. You're taking the regular amount of time that it takes. But because you're so used to seeing stuff in high speed, you're thinking that you're like doing something wrong. So this is another thing I like about going live. Because it's like true. It's true to the time. Yeah. And then if you want to stitch your heart braids, you just braid a couple times and then, you know, pull your pieces in like you normally would. Aww. Your friend is so nice.
Incredibly supportive too.
I love that though. You don't get that all the time, you know?
Oh no, definitely not. I'm grateful. I don't have many friends, but the few that I do have are quality. So I'll take that any day.
Oh yeah, for sure. Oops, wait a minute. I knew there was some hair coming in there that wasn't supposed to be. I was like, wait a minute.
Aggressively supportive.
Yeah. And sometimes you might, like, just now, this is a real example. Like, you know, I started braiding and there was some hair coming in that wasn't supposed to. So I had to start it over. And that's okay too. But see, you don't see that on Instagram or on YouTube or whatever. You know, you just see these perfect braids and sometimes you don't see the hustle.
Oh yeah, see, a video like this would have been way more helpful than the other tutorials that I've seen where they kind of like speed it up when I was trying to learn how to braid for my daughter's hair. Like, seeing something like this definitely would have been more encouraging.
Yeah, I mean, and don't get me wrong, like, I speed my videos up too, because sometimes you have to. I mean, it's just a time thing, you know, nobody's gonna sit and watch a 40-minute you know, video or something like that. So sometimes you do have to, you know, speed it up and get to the most important parts and stuff like that. But okay, guys, I just have to turn her for 1 second here. So I apologize if you can't see.
This is just really cool to watch.
Right, it's like satisfying, right?
Yeah.
Because it's funny, because I'm doing it, but I can see it too. Like, you know, on the monitor, so it is cool to see it, like, actually happen, even though I'm the one doing it, but... And then I'm just going to repeat the same thing on the other side. Are you guys feeling this tutorial? I guess this is a tutorial. It wasn't supposed to be. But, you know, it's just me. It's hard for me to, like, it's hard for me to do something and know that people are watching and not explain what it is that I'm doing. So if anybody has any questions, please let me know. I'm more than happy to answer any questions. Not that I have all the answers, but if it's something that I can help with, I don't mind. Are there any braiders on right now? I see we have a few people watching, so I just want to see. I know we have best friend on the line or on the live with us, so that's really cool. Okay, one more heart. I'm just gonna grab my comb. Oh, we got a braider. Oh, okay, who do we have? Yes, I'll be braiding my girl here tomorrow. All right. What style will you be doing? If you're not sure yet, you should try this one. You braid very well. Thank you. Thank you. It's been a journey. It's been a journey. I'm not where I want to be, but I definitely am grateful for progress. So
She's trying to learn your stitching technique.
oh. So stitching is just really just pulling in each piece, you know, from side to side. It's kind of hard to learn the stitching technique as you see me braiding a heart. But as I get to the bigger two braids, it'll be a little bit easier to see and a little bit easier to explain, because with the heart, I'm kind of like going around in different directions and stuff like that. But if you are able to see this, I just am honestly, I'll just take it in a little piece by piece, holding on to it, doing a braid movement, and doing the same thing on the other side. So it's just pulling in a piece, braid, pulling a piece from the other side, and braid. Yeah, because this is kind of like curving, you know, in different ways and stuff. It's a little harder to explain doing a heart. Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. And I just use my pinkies, like, so you can see I have like braider nails. I don't know if you guys can see. Yeah, so I'm gonna try that out, but my parting is terrible. Oh, parting is one of those things. Really, parting is one of those things. Um, One thing that I would suggest when it comes to parting is to just kind of take your time use your product as well. I mean, if you have like a shine and jam or anything like that, that can be helpful just to get like the small little hairs out of the way, but mainly to just take your time. And people that do have issues with with parting, that's where really pre-parting to me comes in. So, like, let's say if you're doing 6 braids on your daughter, I don't know what style you're doing, but if you're going to be doing 6 braids, right, you're better off just to part the whole thing out. That way, if you have to fix anything, then you could see what it is that you need to fix before you commit. Because I know that honestly, as a braider, once you start braiding, you don't want to start over. And you certainly don't want to start over because, you messed up on the parting or, something like that. So I just suggest, this is my little suggestion, but just part it out first. And that way you can fix whatever needs to be fixed at that time. Yep, and now our last heart is finished. And what really is going to really close the heart off, guys, is when they're crossed. Like right now, I mean, yeah, it looks like a heart, but, once it's all the way crossed and the heart is closed at the bottom, that's when it'll really look nice and finished. So once it's like that, you see that? Look how that closes off the heart. It just makes it look so complete. Okay, then I'm just gonna see. So there we go. Woo! So we have our 3 hearts. So pretty. Now we're gonna start prepping for the 2 braids.
I'm just excited for the color.
Oh yeah. So I don't know if anybody guessed, but we are gonna be using this fire red. I kind of like pulled the ends out a little bit. It does come pretty stretched. This is the Sensational brand. Oh, she said I knew it. Yeah, so we were kind of like, okay, should we do like a goldish color or should we do blonde? Or should we do red? So I'm just gonna pull over my handy dandy little rack here.
And then my reaction to the red solidified the deal.
Definitely. I was like, yeah, I think you should do red. Because you were very happy about that. So I said, oh, you know what? Let's do the red. Ariel much?
Yes. Couldn't have such fun colors as a kid. So
Oh, so now, yeah.
the best part of growing up is nobody can tell me no.
Right. Well, I think it's going to look really nice. Because I like to like make sure it's kind of added in gradually. So it's not going to be like super overpowering at the top. And then it'll just gradually get heavy towards the bottom.
Awesome.
So you see, guys, I'm just going to like... Yeah, so I'm just going to make sure that all this is sleek. Again, guys, I'm using Shine and Jam, the red jar. My girl Stasha, this product, So, yep. I really like the red Shine and Jam, especially because it's a little bit heavier than the yellow, but it's not so heavy that you couldn't use it on, you know, various textures. So that is the one thing that I really like about this Shine and Jam.
And it doesn't feel heavy. I like that.
Yeah, no, it's really not. It's like it's heavy enough to get a good braid in, but it's not so heavy that it's gonna like cause any damage. So I'm basically just gonna be doing the same thing, but this time I'm gonna pull in her pieces from the braid. Well, from the for the larger braids. And you can see I'm gonna add in really small pieces, guys. Look how small that piece is. It's not large at all because I want it to be smaller than the hair that I'm adding it under. And then as I go along, I can, you know, make them a little bigger, but just to start off, you don't want to use it too big because you really want that whole feed-in effect. So you want it to really appear very natural, starting off from her natural hair. So thick enough to show up, but thin enough to not bubble the braid. If that makes any sense. This Sensational brand here has really been my favorite for a while, but I'm starting to have a close contender.
What qualities does hair have to have for you to like consider it a favorite?
Well, that's a good question. One thing is that you want to make sure that it's tangle free. That's one thing, because there's nothing worse than using hair that's just, you know, constantly tangling and, you know, all of that. So you want to make sure that it's tangle free. And you're going to get some tangles, but some hair tangles a lot worse than others.
Mm-hmm.
So you just, you know, again, you just really want to make sure that it's a good tangle free, I guess you could say, quality. The other thing is dippability. Don't know if that's a word, but a lot of times you're going to be sealing the hair at the end. So you want to make sure that the hair dips well. Because if it doesn't, then it messes up the sealing of the hair. Thank you, babe. Oh, I'm okay. So nope, I think I'm gonna let that drop down a little bit. Yeah, I'm gonna wait before I pull that first piece in. Okay, then I'm just gonna turn you a smidge. So I hope you guys can see that. If not, you'll just have to admire the hearts. Because the red is starting to build rather nicely. Yeah, so those are the two things that I look for. And then blendability too. Like, you want a hair that's like a nice texture. And you don't want anything that's going to be like cutting your cuticles, because that hurts.
Yeah.
Especially after a while.
And I know some synthetics too, like for the wearer, it can be really itchy if it's on your skin.
Oh yeah, that's another thing. So, and there are some hair on the market that claim to be like pre-washed and like apple cider vinegar and all that stuff. I haven't. What's up, honey? Yeah, I know. We've been watching the comments, boo. My husband is over here like top flight, y'all. Like,
I mean, that's the number one thing.
He's so funny.
I'd be reading the comments too.
Okay, see you later, babe. Thank you. You said you took your glasses off?
To make it easier, otherwise I'd be watching them.
Oh. Yeah, I'm gonna move the camera back a little bit because it's kind of like in my way. I have to give myself some room. There's me trying to scrape every little bit of the gel.
No waste.
Mm-mm. No. Yeah, so you always want the hair to be able to blend in pretty good. And then like as you start gathering more hair and stuff, you may have to use your comb just to kind of help pull in your pieces. A little bit more gel. I like to make sure everything is nice and smoothed in. Oh, Oh, we should have took a before picture. I forgot.
Before was a poofy mess.
That really wasn't bad though. You guys can see the red starting to really come in here. Is she looking for the link? Like the link to my website? Or
I was gonna say, if that's the case, I will literally just message you the Facebook page.
Alright. We're almost done with this one, guys. And you can always cover that a little bit too. Just to give a little bit of a better blend. Okay, guys, we're getting to the end here. Once I get down to the bottom, I'm just gonna braid this braid down. I'll continue to add a couple pieces just to even everything out. And that's it. So we're gonna go ahead and get ready to end the live. If there's any questions, you have maybe about 2 minutes to ask those questions. And if not, what I'll do is I could put the finished, maybe I could put the finished photo like in my stories or something. And this will probably take about 1 pack of hair, guys. So, because I didn't add any hair to the hearts, because it's not really necessary.
It looks so good.
Oh, thank you. I'm so glad that you like it. Yep. So I'm going to go ahead and just clip this off, guys. And for all of those who did join us, thank you so much. I know this was not the most exciting live, but we talked about some important things that I feel like is important. And we also learned how to do these heart braids in the middle. We went over some tips and we went over some tricks as far as doing your feed-in process and sizing and all of that good stuff. So, you know, feel free to go back and just watch. You know, just feel free to go back and watch the live. I will post the finished result. I will post that in my stories or somewhere via Instagram. So if you don't follow me on Instagram, you can follow me at Neek_Lynn. And I will place this in my story or somewhere. So guys, thank you so much for joining us. I do hope that this was helpful. This is the place where braiders turn to learn braided hairstyles, develop tenacious hustle, and also to flourish in hope. So I really hope that one of those things resonated with you today. And if you have any questions, you can always feel free to message me directly. And until next time, guys, I will talk to you in the next video. Okay, my live. Okay, hold on here.
Technology.
You gotta love it. You got to love it. I have pressed the X button like 15 times. I'm at least trying to keep it on your head. All right, let's see here, guys. Let's see if I could find out what's going on. So I'm actually trying to end the live. And for some reason, it's not letting me end the live.
It is saying no.
And it's still on, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So I may have to like